is what that is. But yeah,
Neat.
that is that. Shall we jump into the review?
Oh yeah,
Are you ready for that?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Colin's
All right.
like, oh yeah, I was
Let me
supposed to
get
do a thing.
Oh shit! No, I got you.
Let me get the background gameplay up, and then we can get started. There we go. I've got it. As you can see, this gameplay is brought to us by Faye. So, and she
I'm there too.
is,
You just can't see me,
yeah.
but you
So,
can hear me.
what are we playing here, Colin?
Right. We were playing this game called We Were Here, and at first I was like, I don't want to play this, but it's actually a pretty fun game. I mean, you've seen this kind of games before. It's what it is it requires two people. You have to play with someone else. You can't play solo. So it's obviously online, and basically you're in a room, you're trying to escape, and the other person has other stuff that they're trying to use to help you escape. Basically, so it's about communication. You know, it's about communication basically, and it's about a 2-hour game. Could be more, could be less, depending on how well you communicate. But man, it I got kind of upset at some points because I was like, this is really frustrating. Because like,
Use your
I
words,
know what
Faye.
I can see.
God
Yeah,
damn.
it was like I know what I see. You know.
Yeah.
And like, but yeah, it was kind of cool because like it tells a story is really what it boils down to. So like that's kind of what keeps you moving along is the story that it's slowly telling through show don't tell. And at the very end it kind of gives it all away. But anyway, the point is it has a neat story that revolves on it. So some of the puzzles, I guess, I can just kind of explain this to you, is like there's a room with like switches, let's say, with different types of sketches. You know, like one of them looks like a stick man, one looks like a turtle, you know. And so you have to like, explain these weird symbols, right? You're like, it kind of looks like a stick man, but it's not, you know, and like it kind of looks like this. And so like you form your own language for how to like communicate basically, because some of these puzzles require you to be quick about it. Otherwise, you'll die. So there is some like element of stress that's constantly involved. But yeah, it's a really cool game. My biggest gripe with it was, let me just actually go through the list here. Well, I like the game. I like that it was co-op. I think it's really cool that they made it co-op and forced co-op, and it was just a way to kind of feel out how people work with you under stress. I've done like escape rooms before though, and it kind of felt like that, you know, like escape room, which is pretty fun, but a virtual escape room. So that was pretty cool. Play with someone that you trust and you know is actually pretty smart. Otherwise, you'll probably be furious. Like, just show me your screen, you know. But that never happened. So. No, I'm serious. Like
the context of how you said that could be misinterpreted.
Like you were throwing Faye under the bus.
No. I really was like, I was like dedicated to like beat this like fair. You know, I was like, I don't want to cheat because like I just cheated myself basically. So like we make sure not to do that. So the gameplay was fine. Like it wasn't anything special. It was like a walking sim kind of with puzzles. So, like if you like that, you'll like it. If not, you won't. You know, and some of them were pretty convoluted seemingly at first. So like understand the room. Like for example, there was one that was like a chess match, right? Like massive chessboard, and I still don't know what Faye saw. I haven't actually watched the full stream myself, but she apparently had like a projector that like showed the moves to like the eye to play on this physical board, basically.
Oh wow!
And so I'd like play this chess piece out with her like telling me where to go. I don't have any numbers or letters. Like she has all that in front of her, but she's like A1. I was like, how do you count A? You know, how do you count
reference point?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, white is, you know, A and 1, you know, and everything. So like, it was like, oh, okay. So I had to like figure out, you know, how everything went, and like, it was kind of difficult. Anyway, you're freezing to death the entire time, and you have to like start a generator for her to actually power up the projector. So it's just like, the entire time, like you're both kind of like being like, what are you doing? I'm doing this. Well, what are you doing? I'm doing this, you know, like, why is it taking so long? And like, it really like boils down to the fact that you just don't know, you know? So like, it gave me a sense of like empathy for other people, because like, they don't know what I'm going through. I don't know what they're going through. And anyway, the very last part of the game is pretty cool. It kind of tells a story, and then the end has a twist to it, which is pretty neat. And I won't give it away here. But it's worth your time. So, the art is fine, nothing special again. The music, I don't even remember if it had music. I don't think it did. Maybe a little bit, but it was minor if it was. Nothing that really stood out to me. Sound design, I think that could have been better with this kind of game. Like at first I was kind of spooked. I didn't know what to expect, but then like I think it could have been more spooky. I know that Faye dealt with more like stuff that actually tried to like people that try to kill you, and I never really experienced that. Only like objects trying to kill me, like water or like cold, like the environment trying to kill me basically. And so maybe I missed out on that, and it'd be kind of cool maybe to swap and see the other side of things. But for me,
Do you get to control which side you're on?
yeah, you get to
Okay.
say which one you are basically.
Nice.
So, and yeah, and Faye's really good at like these kind of puzzle games. So I was like, why don't you be the one, figuring out the puzzles basically to help me move forward. But really, in the end, it was kind of both of us trying to figure them out and whatnot. And of course, our chat helped her too. So,
Oh yeah.
so it took me about 2 hours, I think, maybe plus or minus, probably 30 minutes, I think. I can't remember exactly how long, but obviously there's a whole video of it. So the game, it was difficult for me. I don't know about Faye, but I had trouble with it. So it's hard for me to like kind of figure out these puzzles without like a piece of paper and a pen, which I didn't really have in front of me. I mean, I could have got one, I guess, but it was just like one of those, how do you keep all this information in your head while also like executing it? So a sequel, yes. The only thing is this was free, so it's hard to like, sometimes it's hard. It's like hard to be like justified. You're like, yeah, I guess I could pay for it, or I could just wait for another free thing. Like I don't know. I'm not trying to be cheap or anything, but it's just like I don't know if it piqued my interest enough to push me forward to buy a sequel. And like a sequel, in my opinion, would just be the same thing with different puzzles, and different stories. So like maybe, yeah, but it'd be hard pressed to like really make me pay for something like this since it was so short and it felt like a really good demo. So.
Well, what if it was longer? Like, what if it was?
And again, that might be annoying to keep playing a game
okay.
like this. Like I mean, like even what are they called? Escape rooms are only like a few hours, anymore, and you just be like kind of as burned out.
Yeah,
And
you're
like you
beating
have
it
to
against
get
the wall.
someone to go with you, and you have to like save together. So like if you don't beat it in a sitting, you're probably not gonna come back to it for a while, I imagine. It'd be kind of hard to like get someone and be like, let's go ahead and beat this together, and it has to be us, it has to be the same time together, So
Fair.
I don't know. I think this is one of those games you probably need it to be a little short, So
Sure.
like
Is
I find myself. Go ahead.
What's the replayability like? Is it like a different scenario each time, or is it
No,
always
it's the same. You can alternate people though if you wanted to.
Okay.
You probably want to play with someone different,
Yeah.
and then
So
alternate. But then you wouldn't want to give away all the clues for them, I guess.
Right.
There's
So
probably
it's
not a lot of
like
replayability.
it's not like the bomb game. What's that one called? Like Don't Blow Up or some shit.
Keep talking and no one
Keep
explodes.
talking and
Keep
no one
talking and no
That's
one
a great
explodes.
game. That's
Yeah,
a
because this
replayable game.
seemed this
Funny
seemed
game.
like a similar concept to
Yes,
that.
it was.
Only that game, like even though it's the same idea every time, you get different puzzles or variations of the puzzles
Right,
anytime you
right.
play it.
Yeah, and you
So-
get better at each module.
Mhm.
That's kind of how this was, but it was all linear. I imagine. I mean, it
Mhm.
could have been different, but I don't think it was. It was very linear. Don't keep talking, no one explodes. But it really was a walking sim too. Like you moved around quite a bit. At least I did. I mean, I know I was constantly going through like this maze like
Right.
structure, and I had to like shout out what I was seeing. Like, and they have a lot of distractions. They have like paintings on the wall, and those mean nothing sometimes. And so you're just like describing this intricate painting. They're like, I figured it out. Nothing to do with the painting. And you're like, okay, cool. So
Nice.
like, but yeah, overall it was pretty fun. If it's not a game you think you'd like, then get it. But like, if not, don't. Like, and find someone that you think you'd have fun with. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what kind of implications this sort of thing could have in like my robotics team, which is currently, working remotely from each other. We can't build a robot because we're not, we're in person for classes, but
Wait,
then,
you build robotics?
Yes.
Hang on, time
Yes,
out.
I coach a middle school robotics.
Have you heard of InMove?
Like once? Yeah.
Okay, we gotta talk later.
Okay.
I have a bunch of questions.
Sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. There's a whole website that I just saw that actually had you perform simple tasks in a robot. Like it's live. Like you basically log into this website and it gives you access to a live robot to like do these tasks. And then it judges you based on how fast you did them. And it's trying to teach AI basically to be as good as a human,
Oh,
human
wow, that's
operator. Yeah. So anyway, this kind of reminded me of that a little bit. It's like the fact that you basically play, two different people, separately, isolated. So
Yeah.
how could you make, maybe a robot does that or something like that and
Or
figure that
just
out?
like teach team building with my students.
Yeah,
And
this
We
was the way to
actually-
go.
We
Yeah.
actually did the Keep Talking and No One Explodes for my work back when I worked for Schwab for their IT team. Like,
No way.
well, if you think about it, it's like a perfect like troubleshooting simulator.
It
you know,
is.
and you learn to like ask the right questions, or like
Mhm.
kind of find like the truth in like the information that you're given. Like even if it's incomplete or incorrect information, you can find what actually is the problem. And so like doing a game like that, I think, is a really good exercise for that kind of communication. So I could see how it would help with the robotics possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a team building exercise for
Mhm.
sure. It's like
That's cool. Everyone stops talking.
I'm reading the chat. It's very funny.
Well,
Well, clearly we've exploded.
makes for a great
because-
podcast. And we died. Well, what else can you say about this? Do you have any other information you want to give us on the review here, Paulina?
Overall rating and impression, it was good. It was good. It's probably like a 7, maybe an 8. You know, it was good. It was fine. It wasn't anything
Yeah.
like incredible. It was a unique experience. But we've seen games like this before in the past that are longer or shorter, or kind of, you know,
If it
team
had
building
more
exercise-y.
variation to it, would it increase that rating for you, or?
I don't know what it needed to like make it more interesting.
Well, it might be just one of those games that doesn't get past that, and it's just like,
It's like
hey,
a demo. It's like a really
yeah,
cool
exactly.
demo. Yeah, like
Yeah.
kind of like a lot of VR games for the longest time were just like really cool demos, you know? Like they
Right.
weren't real games. They were just like, they were fun for a few hours, and it was like, okay, it's the same thing, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you're going to do so many puzzles before you're just like, let's move on. So,
Right.
and yet, like, also, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how, if people would enjoy this. I mean, people have beat it. I'd like, kind of cool to see the statistics, I guess, on that. But yeah, it was fun, though. I mean, it's free. So, like, try it. If you think I kind of game you'd like, you know, do it. If not, don't. So,
Yeah.
There you go. Right on. That about wraps that up. Let me move this gameplay out of here. Boom.